Chapter 15. It takes an untouched stack of pancakes for Mama to say, "All right, Munch, what's up?" We have a table to ourselves in IHOP. It's early morning, and the restaurant's almost empty except for us and these big bellied, bearded truckers stuffing their faces in a booth. Thanks to them, country music's playing on the jukebox. I poke my fork at my pancakes. Not real hungry. Somewhat alive, somewhat the truth. I'm having a serious emotional hangover. There's that interview. Uncle Carlos, Haley, Khalil, Devante, my parents. Mama, Sakani, and I are spending the night at Uncle Carlos's house, and I know it was more because Mama's mad at Daddy than it was about the riots. In fact, the news said last night uh, was the first semi peaceful night in the garden. Just protests, no riots. Cops were still throwing tear gas, though. Anyway, if I bring up my parents' fight, Mama's going to tell me, stay out of grown folks' business. You think since it's partially my fault they would fight, they fought, it is my business. But nope. I don't know who you're supposed to believe that you're not hungry. You've always been greedy. I roll my eyes and yawn. She got me up too early and said we're going to IHOP, just the two of us, like we used to do before Sakani came along and ruined everything. He has an extra uniform at Uncle Carlos's and can go to school with Daniel. I only had some sweats and a Drake t shirt, not DA office appropriate. I gotta go home and change. Thanks for bringing me here, I say. With my awful mood, I owe her that. Anytime, baby. We haven't hung out in a while. Somebody decided I wasn't cool anymore. I thought I thought I was still cool, so whatever. She sips from her steaming mug of coffee. Are you scared to talk to the DA? Not really, although I do notice the clock is only 3.5 hours away from our 9:30 meeting. Is it that BS of an interview? That bastard. Here we go again. Mama got his goddamn daddy going on TV telling lies, she says. And who's supposed to believe a grown man was that scared of two children? People on the internet are saying the same thing. Black Twitter's been going in on Officer Cruz's dad, claiming his name should be Tom Cruise with that performance he put on. Tumblr too. I'm sure there are people who believe him. Haley did, but Miss Ofra was right. It backfired. Folks who never met me or Khalil are calling BS. So while the interview bothers me, it doesn't bother me that much. It's not really the interview, I say. It's other stuff too. Like Khalil, I say. Devante told me some stuff about him, and I feel guilty. Stuff like what? She says. Why, he sold drugs. He was trying to help Miss Brenda pay a debt to King. Mama's eyes widen. What? Yeah, and he wasn't a king lord. Khalil turned King down, and King's been lying to save face. Mama shakes her head. Why am I not surprised? King would do some mess like that. I stare at my pancakes. I should have known better. Should have known Khalil better. You had no way of knowing, baby, she says. That's the thing. If I would have been there for him, I couldn't have stopped him. Khalil was almost as stubborn as you. I know you cared about him a lot, even as more than a friend, but you can't blame yourself for this. I look up at her. What do you mean, cared about him more than a friend? Don't play dumb, Star. You all liked each other for a long time. You think he liked me too? Lord, Mama rolls her eyes. Between the two of us, I'm the old one. You just called yourself an old fart. You just called yourself old. Older one, she cracks and shoots me a quick stink eye. And I saw it. How in the world did you miss it? I don't know. He always talks about other girls, not me. It's weird though. I thought I was over my crush, but sometimes I don't know. Mama traces the brim of her mug. Munch, she says, and is followed by a sigh. Baby, look. You're grieving, okay? That can amplify your emotions and make you feel things you haven't felt in a long time. Even if you do have feelings for Khalil, there's nothing wrong with that. Even though I'm with Chris? Yes, you're 16. You're allowed to have feelings for more than one person. So you're saying I can be a hoe? Girl, she points at me, don't make me kick you under this table. I'm saying don't beat yourself up about it. Grieve Khalil all you want. Miss him. Allow yourself to miss him. Miss what could have been. Let your feelings get out of whack. But like I told you, don't stop living, all right? All right. Good. So that's two things, she says. What else is up? What isn't up? My head is tight like my brain is overloaded. I'm guessing emotional hangover feels a lot like hangovers. Haley, I say. She slurps her coffee loudly. What that little girl do now? Here she goes with this. Mama, you never liked her. No, I've never liked how you've followed her like you can't think for yourself. There's a difference. I haven't. Don't lie. Remember that drum set you begged me to buy? Why did you want it, Star? Haley wanted to start a band, but I liked the idea too. Hold up, though. Didn't you tell me you wanted to play guitar in this band, but Haley said you should play the drums? Yeah, but them little Jonas boys, she says, which one did you really like? Joe. But who said you should be with the curly head one instead? Haley, but Nick was fine as all get out. And this middle school stuff. Uh huh. Last year you begged me to let you color your hair purple. Why, Star? I wanted. No, why, Star, she says. The real why. Damn, there's a pattern here. Because Haley wanted me, her, and Maya to have matching hair. Exact-damnly, baby. I love you, but you have a history of putting your wants aside and doing whatever that little girl wants. Excuse me if I don't like her. With all my receipts put out like that, I say, I can see why. Good. Realizing this is the first step. So what'd you do now? We had an argument yesterday, I say. Really, though, things have been weird for a while. She stopped texting me and unfollowed my Tumblr. Mama reaches her fork onto my plate and breaks off a piece of pancake. What is Tumblr, anyways? Is it like Facebook? No, and you're forbidden to get one. No parents allowed. You guys already took over Facebook. You haven't responded to my friend request yet. I know. I need Candy Crush lives. That's why I'll never respond. She gives me the look. I don't care. There's some things I absolutely refuse to do. So she unfollowed your Tumblr thingy, Mama says, proving why she can never have one. Is that all? No, she said it and did some stupid stuff too. I rub my eyes. Like I said, it's too early. I'm starting to wonder why we're friends. Well, Munch, she gets another freaking piece of my pancake. If you decide the relationship is worth salvaging, make a list of the good stuff and make a list of the bad stuff. If one outweighs the other, then you know what you gotta do. Trust me, that method hasn't failed me yet. Is that what you did with Daddy after Alicia got pregnant? I asked. Because I'll be honest, I would have kicked him to the curb. No offense. It's all right. A lot of people called me a fool for going back to your daddy. Shoot, they may still call me a fool behind my back. Your Nana would have a stroke if she knew this, but she's the real reason I stayed with your daddy. I thought Nana hated Daddy. I think Nana still hates Daddy. Sadness creeps into Mama's eyes, but she gives me a small smile. When I was growing up, your grandmother would do and say hurtful things when she was drunk and apologize the next morning. At an early age, I learned that people make mistakes, and you have to decide if their mistakes are bigger than your love for them. She takes a deep breath. Seven's not a mistake. I love him to death, but Maverick made a mistake in his action. However, all of his good and all the love we share outweighs the one mistake. Even with crazy Aisha in our lives, I ask? Mama chuckles. He has been with crazy, messy, annoying Aisha. It's a little different, yeah, but it outweighs the bad. Keep Haley in your life, baby. That might be the problem. A lot of good stuff is from the past. The Jonas Brothers, High School Musical, our shared grief. Our friendship is based on memories. What do we have now? What if the good doesn't outweigh the bad, I ask? Then let her go, Mama says. And if you keep her in your life and she keeps doing the bad, let her go. Because I promise you, had your daddy pulled the same mess like that again, I'd be married to Idris Elba and say, Maverick who? I bust out laughing. Now eat, she says, and hands me her fork, before I have no choice but to eat all these pancakes for you. I'm so used to seeing smoke in Garden Heights, it's weird when we go back and there isn't any. It's dreary because of a late-night storm, but we can ride with the windows down. Even though the riot stopped, we pass many tanks as we pass lowriders. But at home, the smoke greets us at the front door. Maverick, Mama hollers as we hurry towards the kitchen. Daddy pours water on a skillet in the sink, and the skillet responds with a loud sizzle and a white cloud. Whatever he burned it bad. Hallelujah! Seven throws his hands up at the table. Somebody who can actually cook. Shut up, Daddy says. Mama takes the skillet and examines the unidentifiable remains. What was this? Eggs? Glad to see you know how to come home, he says. He walks right by me without a glance or a good morning. Is he still pissed about Chris? Mama gets a fork and stabs at the charred food stuck to the skillet. You want some breakfast, Seven, baby? He watches her and goes, nah. By the way, the skillet didn't do anything, Ma. You're right, she says, but she keeps stabbing. Seriously, I can fix you something. Eggs, bacon. She looks towards the hall and shouts, the pork kind, pig, swine, all of that. Oh, sorry, guys. So much for the food good outweighing the bad. Seven and I look at each other. We hate when they fight because we always get stuck in the middle of their wars. Our appetites are the greatest casualty. If Mama's mad and not cooking, we have to eat Daddy's struggle meals like spaghetti with ketchup and hot dogs in it. I'll grab something at school. Seven kisses her cheek. Thanks, though. He gives me a fist bump on his way out. The Seven way of wishing me good luck. Daddy returns wearing a backwards cap. He grabs his keys and a banana. We have to be at the DEA's office at 9:30, Mama says. Are you coming? Oh, Carlos can't do it? Since he's the only one y'all let in on secrets and stuff. You know what, Maverick? I'll be there, he says, and leaves. Mama stabs the skillet some more. The DA personally escorts us to the conference room. Her name is Karen Monroe, and she's a middle-aged white lady who claims she understands what I'm going through. Miss Ophir is already in the conference room, along with some people who work at the DA's office. Miss Monroe gives a long speech about how she wants justice for Khalil and apologizes that it's taken so long for us to meet. 12 days to be exact, Daddy points out. Too long, if you ask me. Mrs. Monroe looks a bit uncomfortable at that. She explains the grand jury proceedings. Then she asks about the night. I pretty much tell her what I told the cops, except for she doesn't ask stupid questions about Khalil. But when I get to the part where I describe the number of shots, how they hit Khalil in the back, the look on his face, my stomach bubbles, bile pools in my mouth, and I gag. Mama jumps up and grabs a garbage bin. She puts it in front of me quick enough to catch the vomit that spews from my mouth. I cry and puke. Cry and puke. It's all I can do. The DA gets me a soda and says, That'll be all today, sweetie. Thank you. Daddy helps me to Mama's car, and the people in the halls gawk. I bet they know I'm the witness for my teary, snotty face and are probably giving me a new name, Poor Thing. As in, oh, that poor thing. That makes it worse. I get in the car, away from the pity, and rest my head against the window, feeling like shit. Mama parks in front of the store, and Daddy pulls up behind us. He gets out his truck and comes to Mama's side of the car. She rolls her window down. I'm going to the school, she tells him. They need to know what's going on. Can she stay with you? Yeah, that's fine. She can rest in the office. Another thing puking and crying gets you, people talk about you like you're not there and make plans for you. Poor thing, apparently can't hear. You sure, Mama asks him, or do I need to take her to Carlos? Daddy sighs. Lisa. Maverick, I don't give a flying monkey's ass what your problem is. Just be there for your daughter. Please? Daddy moves to my side of the car and opens the door. Come here, baby. I climb out, blubbering like a little kid who skinned her knee. Daddy pulls me to his chest, rubbing my back and kissing my hair. Mama dries off. I'm sorry, baby, he says. The crying, the puking don't mean anything anymore. My daddy's got me. We go in the store. Daddy turns on the lights but keeps the closed sign in the window. He goes to his office for a second, then comes back to me and holds my chin. Open your mouth, he says. I open it and his face scrunches up. Ew! We gotta get you a whole bunch of mouthwash. About to raise the dead with that breath. I laugh with tears in my eye. Like I said, Daddy's talented that way. He wipes my face with his hands, which are rough as sandpaper, but I'm used to them. He frames my face. I smile. There go my baby, he says. You be all right. I feel normal enough to say, now I'm your baby? You haven't been acting like it. Don't start, he goes down the medicine aisle, sounding like your mama. I'm just saying, you've been extra salty today. He returns with a bottle of Listerine. Here, before you kill my produce with your breath. Like you killed those eggs this morning? Aye, those were blackened eggs. You don't know about that. A couple of rinses in the restroom transform my mouth, from a swamp of puke residue to normal. Daddy waits in the wooden bench at the front of the store. Our older customers who can't walk much usually sit there as Daddy, Seven, or I get the groceries for them. Daddy pats a spot next to him. I sit. You gonna open back up soon? In a little bit. What you see in that white boy? Damn, I wasn't expecting him to go right into it. Besides the fact he's adorable, I say, and Daddy makes a gagging sound. He's smart, funny, and he cares about me. A lot. You got a problem with black boys? No, I've had black boyfriends. 3 of them. 1 in 4th grade, although that doesn't really count, and 2 in middle school, which don't count either, because nobody knows shit about a relationship in middle school. Or anything, really. What? He says. I ain't know about them? Because I knew you'd act crazy. Put a hit on him or something. You know, that ain't a bad idea. Daddy, I smack his arm as he cracks up. Did Carlos know about them? He asks. No, he would have run background checks on all of them or arrested them. Not cool. So why'd you tell him about the white boy? I didn't tell him, I say. He found out. Chris lives down the street from him, so it was harder to hide. And let's be real here, Daddy. I've heard stuff you've said about interracial couples, and I didn't want you talking about me and Chris like that. Chris, he mocks. What kind of plain-ass name is that? He's so petty. Since you want to ask me questions, do you have a problem with white people? Not really. Not really. I'm being honest. My thing is, girls usually date boys who are like their daddies. And I ain't gonna lie, when I saw that white Chris, he corrects, and I smile. I got worried. I thought you turned against black men, or I didn't set a good example as a black man. I couldn't handle that. I rest my head on his shoulder. Nah, Daddy, you've just set a good example of what a black man should be. You set a good example of what a man should be. Duh. Duh, he mocks and kisses the top of my head. My baby. A gray BMW comes to a sudden stop in front of the store. Daddy nudges me off the bench. Come on. He pulls me into his office and shoves me in. I catch a glimpse of King getting out of the BMW before Daddy closes the door in my face. Hands shaking, I crack open the door. Daddy stands guard in the entrance of the store. His hand drifts to his waist. His piece. 3 other King lords hop out of the BMW, but Daddy calls out, Nah, if you want to talk, we do this alone. King nods at his boys. They wait beside the car. Daddy steps aside, and King lumbers in. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I don't know if Daddy stands a chance against King. Daddy isn't skinny or short, but compared to King, who's pure muscle at 6 feet, he looks tiny. It's damn near blasphemous to think like that, though. Where he at? King asks. Where who at? You know who. Vante. How am I supposed to know? Daddy says. He was working here, wasn't he? For a day or 2, yeah. I ain't seen him today. King paces and points his cigar at Daddy. Sweat glistens on rolls of fat on the back of his head. You lying. Why I gotta lie, King? All the shit I did for you, King says, and this is how you repay me? Where he at, Big Mav? I don't know. Where he at? King yells. I said I don't know. He asked me for a couple $100 the other day. I told him he had to work for it, so he did. I had some mercy and paid it all up front like a dumbass. He was supposed to come in today and didn't. End of story. Why he need money from you when he stole 5 G's from me? Hell if I know, Daddy says. If I found out you're lying, you ain't got to worry about that. Got too many goddamn problems of my own. Oh, yeah, I know about your problems, King says, a laugh bubbling from him. I heard Star, the witness, they've been talking about on the news. Hope she know to keep her mouth shut when she's supposed to. What the hell's that supposed to mean? These cases always interesting, King says. They dig for information. Shit, they try to find out more about the person who died than the person who shot them. Make it seem like a good thing they got killed. They already saying Khalil sold drugs. That could mean problems for anybody who might have been involved in his hustle. So people got to be careful when they talk into the DA. Wouldn't want them to be in danger because they ran their mouth. Nah, Daddy said, the folks who were involved in the hustle need to be careful about what they say or even think about doing. There are several agonizing seconds of Daddy and King staring each other down. Daddy's hand is at his waist like it's glued there. King leaves, pushing the door hard enough to nearly break the hinges, the bell clanging wildly. He gets in his BMW, his minions follow, and he peels out, leaving the truth behind. He's going to mess me up if I rat on him. Daddy sinks into the old people's bench, his shoulders slump, and he takes a deep breath. We close early and pick up dinner from Reuben's. During the short drive home, I notice every car behind us, especially if it's gray. I won't let him do anything to you, Daddy says. I know, but still. Mama's beating the hell out of some steaks when we get home. First the skillet and now red meat. Nothing in the kitchen is safe. Daddy holds up bags for her to see. I got dinner, baby. It doesn't stop her from beating those steaks. We all sit around the kitchen table, but it's the quietest dinner in Carter family history. My parents aren't talking. Seven's not talking. I'm definitely not talking. Or eating. Between the disaster at the DA's office and King, my ribs and baked beans look disgusting. Sakani can't sit still, like he's itching to give every detail of his day. I guess he can tell nobody's in the mood. Bricks chomps and slobbers over some ribs in his corner. Afterward, Mama collects our plates and silverware. All right, guys, finish your homework, and don't worry, Star, your teacher gave me yours. Why would I worry about that? Thanks. She starts to pick up Daddy's plate, but he touches her arm. Nah, I got it. He takes the plates from her, dumps them in the sink, and turns the water on. Maverick, you don't have to do that. He squirts way too much dishwashing liquid into the sink. He always does. It's cool. What time you got to be at the clinic this morning? I'll be off again tomorrow. I have a job interview. Daddy turns around. Another one? Another one? Yeah, Markham Memorial again. That's where Aunt Pam works, I say. Yeah, her dad is on the board and recommended me. It's the pediatrics nursing manager. This is my second interview for it, actually. They want some of the higher ups to interview me this time. Baby, that's amazing, Daddy says. That means you're pretty close to getting it, huh? Hopefully, she says. Pam thinks it's as good as mine. Why didn't you guys tell us? Seven asks. Because it's none of y'all business, Daddy says. And we didn't want to get your hopes up, Mama adds. It's a competitive position. How much does it pay, Seven? Rude self asks. More than when I make at the clinic. 6 figures. 6, Seven and I say. Mama's going to be a millionaire, Sakani shouts. I swear he doesn't know anything. 6 figures is hundreds of thousands, Sakani, I say. Oh, it's still a lot. What time is your interview, Daddy asks. 11. Okay, good. He turns around and wipes a plate. We can look at some houses before you go to it. Mama's hand goes across her chest and she steps back. What? He looks at me and then her. I'm getting us out of Garden Heights, baby. You got my word. The idea is as crazy as a 4-point shot. Living somewhere other than Garden Heights? Yeah, right. I'd never believe it if it wasn't Daddy saying it. Daddy never says something unless he means it. King's threat must have really got to him. He scrubs the skillet that Mama stabbed this morning. She takes it from him, sets it down, and grabs his hand. Don't worry about that. I told you it's cool. I can get the dishes. Forget the dishes. And she pulls him into their bedroom and closes the door. Suddenly their TV blares real loud, and Jodeci sings over it from the stereo. If some woman ends up with a fetus in her uterus, I will be completely done. Done. Ill, man, Seven says, knowing the deal too. They're too old for that. Too old for what? Sakani asks. Nothing, Seven and I say together. You think Daddy meant that, though? I ask Seven. We're moving? He twists one of his dreads at the root. I don't think he realizes he's doing it. Sounds like y'all are, especially if Ma gets this job. Y'all, I say? You're not staying in Garden Heights. I mean, I'll visit, but I can't leave my mama and my sister, Star. You know that. Your mama put you out, Sakani says. Where else you gonna go, stupid? Who are you calling stupid? Seven sticks his hand under his armpit and rubs it in Sakani's face. The one time he did it to me, I was 9. He got a busted lip, and I got a whooping. You're not going to be at your mama's house anyway, I say. You're going away to college. Hallelujah. Thank Black Jesus. Seven raises his eyebrows. You want an armpit hand too? And I'm going to Central Community so I can stay at my mama's house and watch out for my sisters. That stings. A little. I'm his sister too, not just them. House, I repeat. You never call it home. Yeah, I do, he says. No, you don't. Yeah. Shut the hell up, I end that argument. Ooh, Sakani holds his hands out. Give me my dollar. Hell no, I say, that shit doesn't work with me. $3. Okay, fine. I'll give you a $3 bill. I've never seen a $3 bill, he says. Exactly. And you'll never see my $3.